Hey everyone, here's a quick update for the 0.94 release. There's a few things, but the two big ones, or the two ones that most people will be interested in, is that we have support for nicer looking note shapes, as well as relaxed notes validation. And the other two are, there's a fix here, which most people probably never hit or would encounter, and then another one that probably won't be noticed by users. So let's take a look at the note one first. So right off the hop, normally to create notes in your diagrams, you'd have to prefix with $notes and then new line, and then you could type whatever you wanted for notes there. Now in Draw.io, we support a few different shapes. So there's the note 2, regular note. These are all variations of this shape here. And then also the kind of like sticky note shape there. So let's open a project here and I can show you how to grab those. So yeah, just for reference, here's the Statesmith one. That one works fine. We are also going to just go on the top here and type note, hit enter. And so we can use this shape, this one, also this one, and this one. We can't use the dollar, or sorry, not the dollar, the musical note. And also this document one, well, we can't use those, but I think my favorite ones are this one just for fun. I don't know if I would actually use this, but maybe if there was something important, you could use this one here. And then this one is also a very useful note. To make this one a little bit more user-friendly too, we can change the text, like if this is something like on to, well, sometimes Draw.io is kind of funny. Say on to is, Draw.io is being silly here. Sometimes it overlays when you're typing, but that's just a Draw.io kind of quirk. Anyway, if you had a bigger amount of text in here that you wanted, you might want to pop this up in the top left. Quick way to do that is click on text. Put it up in the top there and the left over there. And then you can play around with this shape to make it bigger, however you want. Yeah, and if you wanted to, you could style this to make it green or red or however you like. But yeah, so let's actually run the code gen for this to show that I'm not crazy. Give me a second here. Gotta find the right thing. Oh yeah, disregard that. I was goofing with some stuff. So we run it. Yeah, we see everything as expected. We've got a root, off, on group, on one, on two. No errors in our code gen. So we pop back here. We've got the root, off, on group, on one, on two. Everything is expected. Now, if we head back to the release notes here, so relaxed notes validation. You can now have notes point to states and vice versa. So normally you would just be able to like write some notes and put them next to something, and that that works pretty good. But now you can actually with any of these note shapes actually draw an arrow. So you could do something like this, or maybe from outside you would grab this one. And maybe you want the note shape to be, I don't know, maybe you want to give it some dashed lines or something like this. You could give it different colors, whatever you want. So this is a little bit more useful and clear sometimes, I think, like being able to say like not having to shove this note inside of the on group, but allowing it to exist outside from over there or over here. I think those dotted lines are a great idea, and this actually comes from a user suggestion and just talking to some people at work too that use Statesmith. Yeah, so that part is pretty cool. We'll run the code gen again real quick here. You should see that nothing has changed. Everything is the same. Now, there's one other cool thing with notes that you can do. And that is you can actually use them to comment out states. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to close that, type SS, hit enter. I'm in the regular Draw.io like offline application. So I'm just going to drag in a state over here. Whoops, I jumped in by accident. I'm going to double click the name and I'm going to type this in as notes. And then what I'm going to do is, I guess I should explain why first. Let's say in the middle of your diagram, or while you're designing your state machine, this on2 state isn't quite finished. Maybe it's causing compilation errors or something, maybe the light yellow function doesn't exist yet, but you want to test the rest of the functionality between like transitioning from off to on1 and back and the on group. But just this one state isn't quite ready yet. You don't want to remove it from your design, like totally delete it, but you need to get it out of the compilation. So what we can do there, I'm going to drag this into onGroup, double click onGroup to jump in there. And I'm going to just make the note shape surround this. Now there's two different ways to do this. If you select two or more states, you can just use regular Control-G to surround it. Draw.io, which we rely on, won't let you just group a single state. So we'd have to change the, add something to the plugin to enable that. So it would be really nice to just highlight this and go Control-G and have it work, but you can't do that without more changes to Draw.io and how it functions. So you can either create your notes state on the side, drag this into notes, and then drag this back. That's fine. That would work. Or you can just grab just like whatever shape over here, highlight both of them, and now we've got two things. Hit Control-G, and then delete the thing that you wanted, or you don't want, I guess, rather. All right, oops. I'm gonna drag this up, and then bring this back down. Sorry, just be a little crazy about my stuff not overlapping so bad. And then over here, oh man, hit the wrong button there. Sorry, it's late. I'm getting a little sleepy here. F2, type in notes. Click off, everything's good there. Okay, and oops, I accidentally clicked on the side there. Yeah, let's delete this thing here. Okay, so we've got our notes. Sorry, I feel like I'm losing control of my mind. I should do this when I'm not so tired. Anyway, if this is for real, I would highlight this in some way to help it jump out, pop out. Anyways, we're gonna bounce all the way out to the very top. We're gonna click save. And now when we run the code gen again, we should see on2 disappears, but everything else is still good. So we're ready to run our code gen. We should see this guy disappear. Oh man, all right. What did I go do? Label notes on2 is awesome. Let's pause here. All right, so all I had to do is read the error message here. So non-related nodes overlap. So this ID here overlaps with ID 21. Well, ID 21 is a much smaller label to find, or ID. So I'm going to pop this into here, hit find 21, and it's going to say, oh, our on group here is overlapping with this guy here. And you can see from the label, notes to on2 is awesome. Anyway, just kind of showing a feature. So these two overlap, but they're not related. And to explain what that is Draw.io allows you to make it look like this notes shape is part of onGroup, but if you actually click the onGroup and drag it to side to side, you can see that it wasn't actually part of it. So all we got to do is, drag this out or intentionally put it in. For me, I'm going to drag it out, put this back over there. And then when we save and run this again, or for the first time, again, we should see on2 disappear. So here's our on2. Let's try this again, run it. There we go. it code gen everything. On1 works. Now, let's just actually rebuild and run too. Oops. Just to prove that code generation works, compiles with GCC, and we can hit, we can exercise it as we expect. All right, I'm gonna pause here while I give my sleepy brain a chance to think if there's anything else I want to talk about. I guess the last thing to note, maybe there's a pun here, but I'm too sleepy to figure it out. When you want to bring on2 back in, all you gotta do is click the notes like super state or group, hit delete, we'll click save, we'll jump back to our code gen, rebuild and run, and we should see on2 pop back in there, and there it is. So yeah, a feature that you might use from time to time, might not, that's okay. And then the auto name conflict resolution thing here, just to touch on this quickly, there's a hole in my unit testing, and that basically is what happens in this particular case is we've got a whole bunch of S1s, S1, 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 but all of them are, all these three are nested inside of this one parent here. And so that was, if you have that and you're using a version below 0.9.4, you'll get an exception. Now, if we scroll down to the ticket where the original shortest fully qualified name was used, there's a whole bunch of test scenarios that we did. So like it's very thoroughly tested. But if you're interested, the reason why all of these ones work and the other ones didn't is because, like, if you look at S2 and all these other S2s, the common root, or like the least common ancestor of all of those, is not contained inside of an S2 as well. It would be inside of the root of the state machine or somewhere else. The reason why this one is particularly special is because for some reason we put an S1, another S1 inside a S1, all inside an S1. So yeah, if that is something you want to be able to do, upgrade to 0.9.4, and yeah, thanks for watching.